In this webinar, I'll be explaining what are Dockers, the difference between virtual machines and containers, what are containers, and we'll have a demo on deploying containers. This webinar will be helpful for absolute beginners who is getting started to containers and container related technologies like Docker. Let us start with containers. So the container image in this slide is very similar to the containers which you see carrying cargoes. To understand the similarity, you have to know about container in technology. To understand about containers, one should also understand how applications are installed in a traditional environment. In a traditional way, to install applications, normally there will be a hardware which is the infrastructure. Above that, so one will be installing host operating system. Sometimes it is Windows, sometimes it is Linux. And above that, normally we'll be installing applications. This has a problem. So since the applications installed on the same host operating system is shared with the same, since multiple applications shared with the same underlying host operating system, the applications binaries and libraries will be also shared with this host operating system. So let's say you have an update for application A. Okay, let's assume so application A and application C is having same dependent software, which is binaries and libraries. So if you have an update for application A, so that update may be causing a problem to the application C. So that's the problem in the traditional environment. So in order to fix this problem, so normally in the traditional environment, so applications are isolated by installing on dedicated hardwares. So here, so there is multiple servers running with Windows or Linux, and you are installing applications in on each and every server, which means the libraries and binaries, which is the dependent softwares of this application, lies in this operating system. In this way, applications are isolated. So this application is fine. So this isolation is fine, but the problem is, so even the company who is implementing multiple application have to invest on lots of hardwares. So this was overcome by technology called virtualization. Now in a virtualization environment, you will have an infrastructure, again the underlying hardware. Above that, so there is hypervisor. Hypervisor is a software which allows to create multiple virtual machines, right? Okay. So in this way, you can now install applications on each and every virtual machine. So in this way, again, application isolation is happening. So application A's libraries and binaries lies in this operating system, in this virtual machine and its operating system. Application B's libraries and binaries lies in this virtual machine and its operating system. This isolation is also fine, but so you have to purchase license for each and every operating system, or maybe a subscription. Sometimes the virtual machine, our ultimate aim is to run one application, but the virtual machine is going to consume lots of RAM memory, CPU, and the disk utilization. So these were the problems, but still virtualization is fine. Most of the companies are using virtualization technology, right? But in order to just run an application, so instead of using this virtual machines RAM, CPU, and disk space, to avoid that, there was containerization. So now we'll see what is containerization. In containerization, you still have a hardware. Above that, you can install a host operating system, which is Windows or Linux. Above that, there is something called engine. So I am using a common term called engine. So this engine is a software which allows to run applications in an isolated way with its own libraries and binaries. So there is lots of companies, they have made their own engine software. Among them, Docker is a popular vendor who have developed this engine. So now with the help of this software engine, okay, you will be allowed to create multiple application with its own libraries and binaries in a single operating system. It is also possible to do the same in a virtualized environment by having a hardware. Above that, you have to install a hypervisor, which can be any hypervisor. Above that, you have to create a virtual machine and install operating system on it. Above that, it's possible to have the engine software. Again, with the help of the engine, now it's possible to create applications in an isolated way. This is a physical environment. This is physical, and this is virtual. Now with the help of this engine software, you are able to run multiple applications with its own libraries and binaries in the same underlying infrastructure and the operating system. It is also possible to do the same in a virtualized environment. With the help of this engine, you are creating isolated applications. Right. In order to create this isolated application, there is something called engine. Okay. So like I said already, so Docker is a vendor who is very popular in this technology, who have developed the engine software. With the help of that software, we'll be able to run multiple applications in a single underlying host operating system. Now you might have understood what is containerization. So in order to install an application in older days traditional way, in a single operating system, multiple applications will be installed. Sometimes there may be a problem. So to avoid that, multiple physical machines were used. With the help of virtualization technology, applications are isolated by creating multiple virtual machines. But now, uh, since we have this containerization technology, so there are few advantages. So in a single host operating system with the help of engine, since we were able to create multiple applications in an isolated way, so we are actually saving purchase of multiple operating systems license or subscriptions. And virtual machines will be heavy with its disk space, RAM memory and processing. So now in order to install application, so we are only we're having less amount of usage of disk space, RAM memory. Okay, these are all the advantages. I have again highlighted the same. Okay, so this containerization gives isolation from one application to other application. It gives isolation from one application to other application. It is still possible to communicate maybe with some networking, but by default the isolation is for the libraries and binaries. Okay, so that's the first advantage, isolation from other applications, and it is also isolated from the host operating system. So this application is isolated from the host operating system's binaries and libraries. The second advantage is, like I said already, so it consumes low CPU, memory and disk space. If we were using virtual machine might have used lots of CPU, memory and disk space. And containers are faster because it's very small, so running an application can be done in a faster way. So now you might have understood what is containerization and how it is differ from virtual machines. So now I'll tell you about Docker. So Docker is actually a vendor, like I said earlier. So Docker is a vendor who develops this engine software, which they give the platform to create, run and share that isolated applications, which we will be calling it as containers. So Docker is a platform, so they'll be giving the platform. Okay, so this is the platform. Docker is a vendor who developed the platform. In this engine, as a developer or as a system administrator, you'll be able to build, run or share applications in a isolated way. That we'll be calling it as containers. To get started with Docker, you should know the architecture of Docker. So in Docker, we'll have a server client architecture. So normally server client architecture means one device will act as a server, other device will act as a client. Here also So it can be like that, but mostly server and client will be the same device. Server means it is a device which runs a service. So like I have listed here, it is a type of long running program called daemon. Daemon means background process. It will be running like a service continuously. So the device where we are installing Docker is called Docker host. The Docker host will run a continuous long running program. That we will be calling it as server or a service. And client. Client is a device which uses the command line interface and manages the Docker host. It can be the same device or it can be a separate device. So the architecture of Docker is, it's a server client architecture. It can be two devices or it can be one single device. The device where we install Docker engine is called Docker host. With the help of the Docker engine or the Docker host, we'll be able to run multiple applications in an isolated way. So in order to run applications, we have to use commands, the Docker command, that can be done from the same device or from a different device. That we'll be calling it as Docker client. Again, to get started with Docker, you need to know about two more terminologies. So one is image. Image is a template which contains the libraries and applications which are used to create containers. So let's say you have a server with some operating system, Windows or Linux. Above that, we are installing Docker engine. So this Docker engine allows us to run multiple containers in a single server in an isolated way. It can be even same applications. Maybe sometimes multiple Apache application can be installed on the same server. In order to do this, in order to run this container, so you need image. So image is a template which contains the libraries and applications, okay, which are used to create or run the containers. So in order to run this container, you need image. So these images are developed by developers and it is kept private within the organization, or it will be hosted in a public repository. So that we'll be calling it as registry. So registries are a place where you have all the images stored. It will be sometimes within the organization as private or over the internet accessible to anyone as public. That is called registry. So there is lots of registries available. Among them, Docker Hub is one of the popular registry. Okay. So here you have lots of images for different applications. These application images can be downloaded to our Docker host and we can run containers. So in my demo, what I'm going to do is, so we are going to connect to the Docker Hub. So Docker Hub is a place where you have lots of images of different applications. So from there, I'm going to download the image to one of my server. So which I'm going to make it as Docker host. We have not yet made this machine as a Docker host. We are going to make this machine as a Docker host. And we are going to use the Docker command and pull the image from the registry. And with the help of the image, we are going to run containers. That's what we are going to do. So I have a server which is running on AWS cloud. So now I'm going to connect to it. So it's a newly provisioned machine. I'm just going to logging in and I'm going to make that machine as a Docker host. I'm going to install Docker Engine software. After that, if that server has access to Docker Hub, which is this public repository or maybe registry, from here you'll be able to download the image and run containers. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. So before starting this webinar, I have just created one server, and this is the IP address of this server. I'm going to connect to it. So I'm using a Linux system to show the demo, but it can be even a Windows or a Mac operating system. Missed the key. So I'll okay. So now I have connected to this server, and so this is a virtual machine running Amazon Linux operating system, and now we are going to install the engine software which was developed by Docker. In order to do the installation, it's very simple. It's just a software. So we can use the command dnf install docker or maybe even yum install docker. So I'll use the command dnf is not there. So if dnf is not there, I'll be using yum. Now this machine is acting as a Docker host. Right? So engine software is installed. So now you have to also start the service. I have told you earlier, Docker host needs a long running program called service. So the service name is also Docker. We have to start it. So I'll be using the command systemctl start docker and systemctl enable docker. Now if I check the status of this service, okay, it's running. So it has a description that Docker application container engine. So now with the help of this Docker software and this service, we'll be able to run multiple same or different application with isolated libraries and binaries. So we have the Docker host. So now I'm going to download the image which is from registry. Which is the public registry Docker Hub, and I'm going to run multiple isolated applications. So before going to download and run applications, so to check whether there is any image, you can use a command called docker images. So it says there is no image. Okay. Or maybe if you want to check is there any containers running, there is a command called docker ps. So to verify images or containers, we can use docker images or docker ps command. Now from Docker Hub, I'm going to pull the image and run a container. So I'm going to run 2 Apache containers in the same machine. So it's recommended to have 2 different port numbers if we need to connect to them. So I'll run the first container on port number 8001 and the second container on port number 8002. Now before running this containers, if I try accessing the website with this public IP address, on port number 8001 or maybe port number 8002, we don't have any websites. Okay. Like I said earlier, containers are faster to deploy. So now just by running one command, it will be possible to run one or multiple containers, but I'll be doing one by one. I'll use a command called docker run -d. -d indicates running the container in a detached mode, which means it should not be attached to the command line. So it has to run in the background, and I'll name the container as web application 1. We can choose anything of our choice, and I'll map the port number as 8001 I'll map port number 8001 to 80, and the image name which I am going to say is HTTPD. So I know HTTPD is available in Docker Hub. You can see here there is around 10 million plus downloads. Okay. I'll be running this command. So the pull command can also be used. If we pull the image, it will be just pulled, but it will not run. So I am using the run command, which will be directly pulling and running the application. I missed the sudo. Okay, so it will search whether the image is there locally. It says it's unable to find any images. So this Docker host will be pointed to Docker Hub by default in the backend. So it was pulling the image from the Docker Hub, and now it might have run the container. Now if I use the command which I have used earlier, if I use Docker images, okay, you can see there is a image called HTTPD of size 138 MB. And now if I use the command docker ps, so we'll have a application called webapp1 in a containerized way. And now it will be accessible. So if I try accessing this server, which is 13.212.159.118 with port number 8001, so I can able to access. I have also allowed firewall related. I have did the firewall related configuration earlier, so now it's working and it gives the pages it works. It is also possible to log in into the container. So it's possible to log in into the container, and maybe if we need, we can change the websites or maybe some codes. So now I'm inside the container. This docker exec command will allow you to log in into the container. And I know that the code will be inside a folder called htdocs with the name index.html. So I'm just going to change the index.html to some other. I'm just going to change the content. As ECAS Cloud. So now if I look into the index.html, earlier it works, but now it is ECAS Cloud. So if I go to the website and if I refresh, you'll be getting a different page. So this is not virtual machine, it's a container. It consumes less amount of CPU RAM than running a real virtual machine and running an application. Similarly, it is also possible to run another, maybe same application one more time. So now it's only one application with the name called web app on. I'll use the same command, but this time I'll use port number as 8002 and the name of the application as web app 2. So since I'm with the help of single image, it is possible to run multiple containers. So with the same image HTTPD, I'm going to run one more isolated container called web app 2. This time it doesn't take a lot of time because the image was already downloaded. So now if I use the command docker ps, you can see one more container is running. So now if I try connecting to this server with port number 8002, I'll be able to access the content of the second container, right? Okay. Right. Thanks for watching.